Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Yeah.
Oh, good day, and he's here. Okay, so it's
I want to see Ranch.
We were kind of hoping you were gonna be in line from
Made
Magic
it.
City, but
You look great.
how you feeling, buddy?
I feel pretty good. Actually, I did really well. Y'all will be proud of me. I was very responsible, so I'm here in one piece.
Boo.
Dude,
Did you win your ping pong?
Did
Did you win your ping pong match?
Yeah.
Beadle, did you see the disappointment in Chandler's eyes?
Yeah, we were.
I'm okay.
That's not.
I
What
wanted
we
you to look haggard today. I wanted you still there.
I wanted to smell the alcohol through the screen. That's what I wanted.
I'm a pro. What could I say?
Wait, was it fun? Was it like an after party? Was there anything else or what?
Well, okay. So hold on, you're jumping.
That was the party.
That was the party because it was Magic City night without the Magic City night. Thanks a lot, Luke Cornett, but they still had a fun, great time. Magic in Atlanta, 10 straight wins for the Hawks, 124-112. Nikhil Alexander-Walker with 41 points, dude, career high. 9 threes, career high. 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Jalen Johnson with 24. Desmond Bane had 18. And Lou was there. He's our Atlanta source. First of all, just give us vibes. Give us everything that you saw, felt, heard, smelled. Go.
The theme,
Everything.
Not everything.
The theme last night, you can't cancel Atlanta, and you can't clip the wings of a Magic City, man.
Nice.
Last night was great, even though it was canceled formally from the NBA. The Atlanta Hawks were celebrated last night. Magic City as an institution was celebrated last night. It was a great feeling. There was a lot of pride in the air. And, you know, if the Atlanta Hawks, winning 10 straight last night, it made everything so much more better. Everybody had a great time. Like I said, it was a lot of good energy. Both parties were celebrating. It was a good time, good vibes.
That's awesome.
Is it awesome?
Yeah, I just wish it was actually still.
Let me talk to me about, okay, so T.I. still did halftime, yeah?
Everything but the hoodies and the wings still happened.
That's
So it was the protest and the speaking out was a lot about nothing. If you asking my opinion, it was a lot about nothing. And you know, the way that we felt about Mr. Magic and the business that he runs and what the Atlanta Hawks are doing right now in this season, all of those things were still celebrated last night. There were interactions and people were putting together different activations around the game that still went on that were still scheduled and happened, and people were happy throughout the course of the day. It was just a lot of energy around the city, and to top it off, the Atlanta Hawks won their 10th straight game, and we're just a better city. We're a better city when our sports teams are doing well, so everybody was happy for the Atlanta Hawks last night, and it turned into a big after party at Magic City, so it was a good vibe.
That's what I want to know about. I want more about the after party.
Did you happen to snag a few extra hoodies?
Yeah, word on the street is yes.
We are in very good shape. I talked to the man himself. I talked to the woman herself, and they said by name, we got to get Beadle a hoodie and we got to get Chandler a hoodie.
Let's go.
And shout out to Juju at Magic City. Juju said I got to get Chandler a hoodie. So
Hey, I love Juju. Thank you, Ju.
Yeah, you guys are very much a priority to when the hoodies get out that we're going to be first on deck, and we are on the list. So we're good to go.
It's my new favorite hoodie already. I don't even have it yet. It's already my new favorite hoodie. All right, let's talk about the game. One of the funnier things that sort of, not funnier, but just interesting is that the Hawks could not get rid of that 9 spot. Like, they kept winning. They now won 10 in a row, and it just could, finally, they moved up a spot. They moved up a spot. Chandler, when you watch this team, you can't help but have a little bit of fun watching them. But are they in a position to sort of maybe be a problem, disruptor, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, they have so much talent, and Jalen Johnson is such a stud where he is just an absolute do-it-all, versatile wing. And when you combine him with Kuminga and Dyson and Zach and like all these athletic wings, their team is so versatile. And so they're poised, they're experienced, and Alexander Walker, he's been unbelievable, and I'm sure we're going to get to him. But I know Jalen Duren has been great. I know Jalen Johnson has been great. But he's got my most improved player of the year award from what he's doing. He's always available. I think the last 2 years he's played all 82 games, and he just continues to take another step in his game at 27 years old, which is also great to see that he can even take his game to another level. So, yes, I love this team. Adding C.J. McCollum kind of gives them that experience and that kind of that leadership there. Okongwu's been great. So, they do have a nice combination of guard play, versatile wings. They can switch everything defensively. So, this team is a threat, and I think they are going to continue to rise in the rankings too. I think they can get out of the play-in and into the playoffs as well as they're playing.
Are they going to be a problem, Lou? This is fun.
Yeah. You know what's amazing about this group? They're extremely confident. Having conversations with a few of those different guys, like they believe in themselves. They like the way that they're playing basketball. They've created an identity. They all have bought into just being each other's anchors and getting themselves into a position where they can be disruptive in the playoffs, whether it's going to be a play-in or a guaranteed spot or what have you. The sky's the limit if they're going to continue to play the way that they're playing. And so everything that Chandler just said, he hit it spot on, because these guys, they don't feel sorry for themselves. Like, they're not trying to limp into the playoffs and just happy to be there. They want to absolutely be disruptive. They want to represent the city of Atlanta well, and they feel like they have all of the pieces that can do it. And so this can be a dangerous team. You know, as you see them right here at that 8th spot, if they put another 4 or 5 games on top of this 10 before losing one, we might start having a different conversation of where they are in this playoff run. But like I said, these guys are extremely confident, and they feel like this is something that they can absolutely do.
Yeah, think about that. There are 2-3 games to catch Toronto and possibly even Orlando. And this, again, this is the hottest team in the NBA right now. They've been so much better since Kuminga. I think they're 5-0 with Kuminga, and obviously he's missed some times. He's been coming off the bench some games. So like that addition has obviously just kind of made them better as well, made them more whole. So there's no doubt in my mind, I think this team is building something right here, and they're playing their best basketball at the right time.
Not only that, but they have the Pelicans' first-round pick, and we've mentioned this core.
It's gonna be a good one.
I was gonna say, like, Lou, you mentioned the fact that there's a good vibe, that the city's better off when sports are doing well. It must feel like the future is extremely bright there, no?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody is bought in, and everybody is rallying around Jalen Johnson. He's the centerpiece of this team, and everybody loves him in the city. You know, he's finally starting to get attention nationally and locally in the city. I had to introduce him to some people last night to make sure that he don't wait in certain lines when he go to certain places.
Is that right?
In his life around Atlanta, you know, I had to make sure he's right, because you know, his profile is rising in the city. So everybody is super supportive of this team, and everybody's supportive of Jalen Johnson, the Kid Walker Alexander, and all of these guys. Listen, they're playing really good basketball. And like I said, they're not just happy to be winning. They feel like they're in a position to be very, very disruptive. So this is a team that's ready to make the next leap into the next year, but they got work to do in this season, and they're still putting good building blocks together right now as we speak.
And that Pelicans pick, they currently were the 5th, 6th worst team in the NBA. So like that, we're looking at a draft that is extremely top heavy. So if they can somewhere stay in that 1 to 5, 1 to 6 range, they're going to get another young star to pair with this core already. Like, they're building something special here, and I think they can be, as good as early as next year, a real contender.
I love that. I love when things start changing for the good. Jalen Johnson, will stick with that. Jake Fisher said that the Hawks think he has MVP potential, and that when all the Giannis stuff was being talked about, it was a non-starter. A Giannis for Jalen Johnson trade was a non-starter on the side of the Atlanta Hawks. So. Yeah. I don't know, Lou. I mean, we're looking at, that's a pretty big name to say no thank you to. Do we see the ceiling as they do?
Yeah, that's fair. Listen, we're at the beginning stages of a very special career, a very special budding career in Jalen Johnson. I've told this story time and time again. He was my rook. I was with him in Atlanta, and he couldn't scratch the surface. He couldn't get on the floor. He didn't get any minutes, and he was just confused. But instead of feeling sorry for himself, he kept his head down. He continued to work. He continued to build days and put a day at a time in the bank. And he bet on himself, and he got an opportunity. And so far, he's made the most of it. And he's turned himself into an all-star. He's turned himself into a household name around this league. So when you go from basically a Joe to a pro to a point where you're an all-star caliber guy and you didn't get minutes the previous season, that breeds a lot of confidence. So now him averaging 23, 10, and 8 on a season, he's just as good as anybody else in the conversation of all-stars and superstars around the league. So, some of these comparisons are fair and very much well-deserved as well.
Yeah, I'm a fan, and he's putting up Giannis-type numbers at 24 years old. So it's like, I don't disagree with their decision. Obviously, Giannis is Giannis. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. he's on the second half of his career. This guy, like Luda said, I don't even think he's scratched the surface of how good he can be. And he's also doing it in an efficient way. He's not an absolute sniper shooter, but he finds a way to take good shots and shoots 35, 36% from three. He's 50% from the field. So he's doing this so efficiently. He's a two-way player. He averages over a steal a game. So he's not one of these guys that's just straight offense. He's versatile. He gets out in transition. Not to mention, he's also one of the more exciting players to watch. Like, he has bounce. He does some plays that are just super athletic that are going to put fans in that building. So you start pairing some shooters around this Johnson, Kuminga core, and they still have Kispert, who hasn't even really got his legs. They have Buddy Hield. They have Gabe Vincent. Like, they're kind of deep. Like they're just so top heavy. Where these young athletic wings are so good, and CJ McCollum brings them a nice dynamic from kind of the PG shooting guard spot, but. They have a great balance of a little bit of everything, but I think the more shooting that they put around him and Kuminga, they're going to continue to even get better and better because their bigs are athletic, they have lob threats, they run. They're a very complete team.
Can I ask a psychological question, if you will? At 24 years old, right? If you find out that your team considers it a no deal for a Giannis Antetokounmpo, is that a confidence builder, or are you already confident enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an added booster. It's like adding that shot of energy to your coffee in the morning. Like, you already believe in yourself. You already know what you're capable of and what you can accomplish on the floor. But then once the team backs you and they tell you we have that confidence in you, you walk into the practice facility, you walk into arenas with a different swagger, with a different step, knowing that you have the confidence of the team and your teammates to go out and lead this basketball team. And JJ has been nothing short of that.
And just think about it. They move off Trae Young, who was their all everything and their franchise player up until Jalen basically got there. Now they're not even listening to phone calls about one of the greatest players still in the NBA now. Like, that doesn't do wonders for your confidence and your morale that this team is fully believing in you, they're investing in you, and they are trusting that you're the guy at such a young age. That's awesome. So now it's just, again, it's surrounding him with the right pieces, the right fit to let him even blossom even more.
I love that for him. I really do. We're going to move over to the Lakers. They did play Houston last night, and 192 win for Los Angeles. No Şengün for the Rockets, but Luka had his 36, 6 and 4. LeBron with 18. KD, 18 points, 7 turnovers. Very interesting, very high intensity in this one. Good defense. It felt playoff-esque, if you will.
Well, we're talking about the Lakers and good defense?
I don't know what to tell you. It's their 6th straight win, by the way. 32-1 when they lead after the third quarter. That's a fun stat. What does it tell you?
Well, it tells you that when they get off to a good start, they can keep their foot on the gas, that they're a much better team. They're not very good when they're coming from behind. They're not very good in these close games in the fourth quarter. So that does tell you something. And also, if this team can hold teams under 100 points, will you grow up?
I can't, and I won't.
If this team can hold you under 100 points, that is the tell-all, because they're going to score, a lot more than that. So if they can put themselves in that defensive side where they can actually hold teams to shooting, I think they were 5 of 26 from 3 with 24 turnovers with the Rockets. Sheesh. First of all, they're not going to win many games doing that, but the Lakers are going to win a lot of games if they can be that physical. And I love the defensive schemes they had. They basically said, okay, we're going to trap Kevin Durant. We're going to pressure him full court. We are going to make it miserable for him because we're okay with letting Thompson and Eason and Finney-Smith and Okogie, think about those 4 names. None of those guys can shoot at a consistent elite level. So when you take the ball out of Kevin Durant's hands and Sengun's not on the floor, now you're really banking on Jabari Smith to make shots, to Reed Shepherd to make shots, because most of those other guys I just mentioned, they're slashers and they're athletic and they're great players in their own right. But the fit and the shooting and the spacing doesn't really work when you take the ball out of Kevin Durant's hand with that offense. As you can see, the hurry-up offense, the bad three-pointers taken, the 24 turnovers. So if the Lakers, I like how they were disruptive last night and they guarded Kevin Durant and made these other guys beat them. If they can continue to do things like that night in, night out, the scouting report, they're going to score a bunch of points. And Luka with another banger last night. They're on to something. Again, 6 in a row is nothing to snooze at. And we said yesterday that these first 2 Houston Rockets games, they're going to be important because they're right there neck and neck in the standings, and this is a great start on the long road trip. 1 down for them, Lou. By the way, it's that whenever anybody says anything about, I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand the Lakers. And now I'm starting to think, well, they're definitely not a one and done anymore, right? Is that narrative officially dead?
That's why narratives suck. That's why they suck, because they change by the day, right? Listen, yesterday I said if the Lakers want to be successful, they got to outscore teams. They got to outscore them by a low clip. Now today I'm saying if they can keep teams under 100 points, they're going to have an opportunity to win basketball games. So we went from in 24 hours, I went from them being an offensive-minded team to them finding something on defense that works for them. And listen, this is a dangerous team. Luka, LeBron, and Austin, they've been nothing short of amazing. They found some type of balance that works for them. Austin Reeves does a lot of the heavy lifting, and Luka does what he does, and he brings them home. And LeBron James has turned into a safety blanket for them. That's the team that in order for them to be successful, it looks like that's going to be the recipe for them moving forward. So they've been nothing short of amazing these last 6 games. It looked like they're going to stay in that 3rd spot based on where they are in the standings and how many games they're up on a 4th place team and how many games they're down on a 2nd place team. So this is probably a position that they're going to stay in, and they're going to be good for it. You know, they're a better home team than they are on the road. But right now, while they are out on this road trip, if they can come back home with 3 or 4 of these wins and keep themselves in a great position, who knows what the limit is for the Los Angeles Lakers at this point.
And think about it, like maybe even as early as last week, we said that's going to be tough for whoever they face in the first round. And I still think it is. But right now, if you look at today, and they're the 3 seed, and they play Minnesota, who's struggling. And Anthony Edwards is now out, going to miss a couple games. So it just flips so quick. That's the hard part about having a show every single day, is that you have to
you have to be open to things.
You don't want to get too high, you don't want to get too low. And that's the exact same thing with these teams. Like, think about all the different roller coasters these different teams have been on. The Pistons were unreal. Then they kind of hit a down point.
Yeah.
The Thunder, the Knicks have been an absolute roller coaster. Like, all these teams deal with that when you go through an 82-game season. So the fact that the Clippers or the Lakers have gone, especially the Clippers, but the Lakers, the fact that they have gone through this and now they're starting to peak, they're starting to play, and you'll see this is the most important time. Rotations are set, guys know their roles exactly, you know exactly what kind of defense you're going to be playing, all the schemes. So now it's just going out there and it's playing hard and it's executing the game plan. The Lakers have been doing that perfectly on this last stretch.
Another 36 for Luka, obviously leading the league in scoring. This is going to be his 8-year career. It'll be his 2nd scoring title. That ain't bad. Is he the best pound-for-pound scorer in the league?
It's hard to say no, right? He's leading the NBA in scoring, and there's so many good scorers, and he's adapted with the style, and he's playing just as fast in early threes. And again, there's no right way to guard this guy. He's 6'7", 6'8", well over 200 pounds, so he can post you up, he can beat you off the dribble. He's so crafty with his speeds and his shot fakes and head fakes, and again, he does all this while getting everyone around him involved. He makes some unbelievable passes. So yeah, it's hard not to, there's some great scorers. SGA is a great scorer. Kevin Durant still you got to put up there. Anthony Edwards, these guys, Tyrese Maxey, like these are all guys that can score in so many different ways, but the numbers don't lie. And this dude is on an absolute heater and he's on a tear. And you expect him every single night to do things like this because he's that good. And it doesn't matter who they're playing. Like the other night they played, it was Minnesota. I'm like, this is a great defensive team. Jay McDaniels are going to show length at him. Rudy and Nasri, they can build. And he just did whatever he wanted to do against them. Like, it's just ridiculous.
It's annoying.
There's no stopping him. It really isn't.
I mean, it's great. Sorry. Lou, what do you think? Is there anyone that you would even possibly argue against him at this point?
I will make a case for SGA, but obviously Luka is the leading scorer of the league. Like I don't care how you cut it. He's one of the most dynamic scorers around on all 3 levels. Like Chandler just said, you can put any kind of great defender at him. You can throw any kind of coverage. He's seen it all and he's done it all in those coverages. He knows how to get to his spots, knows how to use his body to get to those spots and draw fouls and shoot from, when you got a guy that can shoot the ball 40 feet from the rim and drive the ball and have the ability to make plays, he's dangerous at all times. And Luka has been that way throughout the course of his career in the NBA. He's been like that overseas when he was a child. We're talking about somebody who's been a pro since he was 15 years old. He's seen it. And he's seen every single thing that you can possibly throw at him. And his response to that is, I'm just going to average a little bit short of 33 points a game throughout the course of his season. So I'm agreeing with everything Chandler is saying. He's if not the best scorer in the league. Some people can make a case for first or second, but nonetheless, he's the guy for sure.
That's what's crazy to me is like when you play the Lakers and you play the Thunder, let's talk about those 2 guys for a second. Like the whole strategy and game plan is to stop them or to disrupt them or be physical with them or deny them. Like the other night against OKC, my man was getting triple teamed.
Is that good?
I'm like, it's just ridiculous how talented these guys are offensively and how crafty and smart they get with the ball.
Wasn't this the Kobe thing? They used to be like, just let Kobe have his points and stop everybody else.
And
like that's,
you know what?
Try that.
I played for Kevin McHale, and he used to like kind of make jokes, but he was kind of dead ass serious. He was like, I wouldn't even look at the guy that was guarding me. I was looking at the guy that was coming to double me. Oh. And I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, is SGA looking at the second guy coming to double him? Is he not even noticing who's in front of him because he knows just someone else is coming from another angle? So it's crazy because these guys, they're going to see everything. They're going to see smaller guys. They're going to see size. They're going to see switching, double team. We've seen box and ones this year, for Christ's sake. Like, it's like college. And they still
how frustrating
figure out ways to go and have 30. Like, it's nuts.
That's got to be frustrating. There's nothing you can do. By the way, the Rockets did start Clint Capella on Deandre Ayton in this one. I love that for everybody. It's only his second start of the season for Capella. And it was a pretty quiet game for Ayton until it wasn't.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
And I love it so much. You know, Ime's like, get out there, do
you think that was like a troll a little bit?
100.
No, it was a troll. You know, 1,000% it was a troll.
If I could have controlled this myself, I would have made the same move. This is awesome.
That's
exactly what you want to do. But then Ayton did kind of wake up and played at a much higher level. So, do they go as Deandre Ayton goes? How big a deal is he on this Lakers team to be important?
I don't know if they go as far as he goes. I think they go as far as Luka and Austin Reeves and LeBron James
but we've
go.
seen that not.
We've seen how much better they are when he's active and when he's aggressive. And sometimes when you watch him play, he floats and he's just a non-factor.
Yeah, he's like not there.
They can't have that version of it. And just little things, not even scoring. You have to see him attacking the glass. You have to see him. The amount of times I've seen like offensive rebounds against him on the free throw line is just unacceptable. With his size and his body and the way how athletic he is, he should be one of the more dominant forces every single night, each night in and night out. And sometimes he doesn't do that. So I think I have no problem with DeAndre Ayton other than just his effort and his motor, because it's you never know which version you're going to get, and that's unacceptable at this point of his career and how much experience he has. And on this team now, on a great team with great teammates, like, he knows how important he can be by just playing hard.
Just be present, man. Just be present.
Yeah, and just be an added weapon that they can use. We just talked about Luka's playmaking ability, right? He's a guy that knows how to make plays. So if you're gonna give him a 7-footer in there, somebody that can be a lob threat or that can go finish plays for him when he's driving to the basket, that gives them an added threat at the rim, and that opens up the three-point line and that opens up the mid-range game that these guys like to play in. And what I liked about his game last night, his stats probably won't jump off the page, but 6 out of the 11 rebounds that he had were offensive rebounds. He was able to put those back or kick them out for three-pointers. That's a guy that's going to give you added possessions and give you an opportunity to win a basketball game with those possessions. And so when these things come down to 2 or 3 possessions to win a game, and you can make offensive rebounds and give your team second chance opportunities, that becomes something that they can use and makes them more dangerous. So if DeAndre Ayton can do that at a consistent place, like you said, if you just don't float off in games and just let the other guys do the work and become more involved in the offense, that's going to make this Lakers team way more dangerous in days to come, especially in the playoffs.
I want to just look at the Rockets for a second, because Kevin Durant had 2 points in the second half. So basically the Lakers did the thing I just mentioned about Kobe. They basically doubled up on him and let everybody else try to win this game, and they were not equipped because the Rockets defense scored 12 points in the fourth quarter, which is a season low for anybody this season. Blueprint for beating the Rockets seems to be just shut down KD. Is that just that easy?
Yeah, look how there's no gaps. There's no holes for him. And even when they deny him and he gets rid of the ball, then they go to full-blown like face guard, top lock. And they're going to have to get used to this. Again, those guys I mentioned, the Tari Easons, the Thompsons, the Okogis, Dorian Finney-Smith, they are going to get open shots. And for this team, the way they guarded last night, again, they're also missing their other all-star Sengun. So
that's big.
He's going to take up a lot of the offensive production, even when they're not going to be able to guard KD like this so aggressively and so egregious to what these other guys are going to beat you with Sengun on the floor. But these guys are going to have other opportunity, and they scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. The Lakers only scored 17.
That's crazy.
But you're not going to win many games shoot 5 of 19 from 3 and 24 turnovers. You can't beat anybody playing like that.
It's not fun. It's not fun, Lou.
Yeah, and we've been talking about it. If you're going to have KD as your primary playmaker, you're going to be in trouble. Like, we know him as a scorer, but we don't know him to be the guy that's going to set the table for his other teammates. So the Lakers found something last night in the Houston Rockets struggles and not having a point guard, not having somebody that can ease the stress for these guys to be in their natural positions. 7 turnovers. He didn't look good in being doubled. But I'm sure today, if I'm the Houston Rockets, we're going to watch film and we're going to come up with some counters for that, because at this point, we just don't have a point guard and no help is coming. So we have to come up with counters and adjust to what's being had. And so, this can possibly be a one-off for Kevin Durant. I haven't seen him look like this in a position for him to make plays, and having 7 turnovers in that fashion, a backcourt violation, and all of these different things. I think he's gonna adjust, but you just can't have him be your primary playmaker. He's got to be the guy that you throw the ball to in positions where teams can double, where they can't run and jump you at half court and take the ball out of your hands or force turnovers. And so I'm sure they'll adjust to that. But like we said, we've been saying it all year long. They need a primary ball handler. They need somebody to be able to put guys in their right positions and make them be successful. And last night, it was a glaring thing for them to not have somebody on the floor to be able to do that and take some pressure away from Kevin Durant.
By the way, the next 5, they're in danger of losing home court for real. Like,
and obviously we that is Fred VanVleet, right? So if I'm him, and people kind of were crazy by his contract, by him not playing and showing his worth and how much.
Is he the MVP?
He's worth every penny, because he's exactly what they need and what they're missing. So when that contract came out, a lot of people thought it was crazy. It's not.
Spurs fans, it is time to rejoice. Oh yes, a big win last night out here in Los Angeles. San Antonio Spurs winning against the Clippers. Their 50th win of the season. They have not done that since 2017. No Kawhi for the Clippers. Okay, that's fine. Wemby, 21-13 and 4 blocks. Steph Castle with 23-8 and 7. Garland had 25-10, 8 turnovers. Here we go. They have 8 players, by the way. This could be an NBA record. They have 8 players averaging 10 or more points per game, which would be the most for a team in a single season.
That's crazy.
So it's very impressive. It's every day I'm more impressed and I fall more in love. But that being said, the Thunder are a deep team. We talk about that a lot. The Spurs ain't so bad themselves.
Those numbers are nuts. And I still do think the Thunder have a deeper team, because the Thunder have been doing this all year long as well. And I feel like every night the Thunder have 2 or 3 starters out and they just plug and play. This team is just as capable of doing it. And they're also so young. I mean, these guys, Vassell and Castle and Harper and Johnson, and Carter Bryant doesn't even get as much minutes this year, an opportunity. He's also going to be a player that's going to have value, and he's going to continue to get better and better. So yeah, this team is just super impressive. They're obviously top heavy, with Wemby, with De'Aaron Fox, but then they also, the guys that don't, the X factors to me are the Harrison Barnes, the Champagnes, the Luke Cornett, like those role players that just come in. You know exactly what you're going to get. They're going to play hard. They're never going to take bad shots, and they're just.
Wait, how can they be top heavy and spread the wealth?
They're really good. They're really, really good.
Is it because it's Wemby's name? It's one of the biggest names in this game.
Yeah, and then you look at it.
Tough to argue.
Offensively and defensively.
It's all in the name, Beadle.
It's kind of a big deal.
That one guy, that one name drastically makes their team much better.
He really does.
Which that was even crazier to me, because when he was out earlier in the season, they were still good without him, which was super impressive. But yes, this team is deep. This team also defends. Again, they're unselfish. They just share the ball. They are very, very good. I know all year long we kind of talked about they're on the rise, or this young team. I truly think that they have arrived. And again, I would love to see a Spurs Thunder finals for the next 5 years.
You might actually.
I would have no problem with that at all.
Yeah, it reminds me of how we talked about OKC a couple of years ago, right? We were saying they're a young team. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of upside, but we're not quite ready to take the training wheels off of them yet. The Spurs are ahead of schedule right now. They are definitely in a position to be a contending team if they're going to allow if they're going to have 8 guys in double figures and put them in a position to go deep in the playoffs. Like Chandler just said, the OKC Thunder, they are a plug-and-play team. They've turned into that. Well, the blueprint of plug-and-play comes from San Antonio. So if any team or any organization knows how to get the best out of their guys and put them in a position to be successful, it's going to be the San Antonio Spurs. So I'm super interested in seeing what they make of this come playoff time. Now, can they do it this year? Who knows? They have all of the right pieces, but they got some real road bumps in front of them, and that being OKC Thunder and how deep they are and the experience they have with getting to the championship and winning the championship. It's not going to be an easy feat for San Antonio, but when you got 8 guys averaging double figures and you have a defensive-minded team and a Wemby on your team as well, everything's pointing to you having a really good opportunity to do so.
They're second in the NBA in assists.
I know.
It's crazy.
What else? Say more good things.
Wemby.
That's
what
the
you got,
analysis.
Beadle? What you got
Well,
to
here's
say?
my
Did
question.
you got it? You go to the game.
Because we get up at 4. I just watched it. It's fine. You know me. I'm antisocial. That being said,
Not dedicated enough, Beats.
You're not a real fan.
First of all, you don't know my
You're
watching
not the only
Spurs.
person that get up at 4.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. On this crew, I
And look,
100% am.
You don't got to get up
And we
at 4 if you
still
don't go
get
to
out.
sleep by 4, Beads.
God, I hate you so much. This is this is one of those moments where it feels like a duh question, but it's also kind of funny to think about if you're the other teams in this league and you're looking around, you're thinking, the 2 best teams also happen to be the 2 deepest teams. It almost makes it seem like it shouldn't be that hard to put together something.
Yeah, listen,
This
it's
is
like we're so used to and accustomed to these super teams and the big threes of the world. And again, I think there was obviously success with that. But now I think it's depth. And now because there's so many injuries, it's such a long season, all this load management, it is a new world
big.
of NBA. So you have to have guys 8, 9, 10, 11th man on your roster that are ready to play, that know the system, that know the plays, that can play multiple different positions. And again, I think that's the key with these 2 teams. Not only are they deep, but they're all versatile. They have guys that can play 3 or 4 different positions. It's positionless basketball now at the pace in which everyone plays. Everyone's got to be able to shoot. And if you look at this roster, the depth of the Spurs, everyone can shoot. The depth of the Thunder, everyone can shoot. They all can switch pick and rolls. They all can play 1 through 4 if they really have to. So I think that is a huge luxury now. And we always hear how rotations shorten the playoffs. Maybe not so much. I wouldn't. I would continue to do. Obviously, they're going to limit a little bit, but I would continue to do exactly what gave you so much success during the regular season. And then you have that luxury, given injury, given foul trouble. Each night there's going to be calls for something different, and these 2 teams are strapped the best for those situations.
Have we put the big 3 to bed? Are we done now? Have we evolved to the next step here,
Yeah.
Lou?
Yeah, I think the game has changed. Like, the game goes and runs, right? And I think at that time where the big 3 thing was going on, it was necessary to get with other guys in order for you to even have a shot at winning a championship. You look at Boston back in the day with KG, Paul Pierce, and Rondo and all of those other guys. And then you look at Dallas that has a similar makeup with all of their guys, and then Bron goes to Miami. Like, you had to do that for you to even get an opportunity. Now, not so much. The game is about depth. When you shoot a bunch of 3-pointers, you have role players that play bigger roles in team success than they have in the past. And so, yeah, I think the big 3 thing is dead until a team forms into one, until a team is created. Let's say, OKC gets 3 or 4 guys in the All-Star game and they turn into a big 3 or something. Now you got to adjust to the times. But right now, it's all about depth. It's all about being efficient and getting as many shots up as you can and just being top scoring basketball teams. And so I definitely think the big 3 era is over.
Yeah, say the Lakers going out.
It's kind of turned into like the big 2 again.
Big 2's
It's kind
fine.
of turned into like two stars again.
I think about I guess the Thunder, right? They have Williams, Chet, and SGA. It's still a big 3. But their 4 through 11 is much better than the other teams.
It dilutes the need for 3.
It does. It doesn't have to be so top heavy. Obviously, you want your guys, you want your go-to players,
Sure.
you want your all-stars, you want your MVP type players. But when you look at the balance of a team, you have to have depth. Again, with the new age and the injuries and everything that happens now, you have to have that luxury of being able to go to the bench and be able to rest certain guys on certain nights.
Yeah, the injury thing is big. Over the weekend, my favorite, Wemby said, right now, the focus is on my body because I really want to win MVP and defensive player, so I'm trying to press the gas. I love it because sometimes we're in a little position here where everybody's too cool for school and they don't want to talk about these accolades, but he's out there just telling you, Chandler.
Yeah, I don't like that he's shying away from that. I love that he's embracing that. I love that this is why I play. I want to win a championship. I want to win MVP. He wants it all. And you can tell that whether it's a regular season game, an all-star game, or a playoff game, you are going to get elite effort from this guy. And I think as a young star, that is very, very rare. So I love the fact that he's that hungry and he's still all the compliments, all the flowers he gets, he still wants more. And that's exactly the type of guy that you want to build on. That's exactly the type of guy the San Antonio Spurs got lucky with by getting him in the draft.
What?
Lucky.
It's called good living and clean karma.
Totally.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's exactly what I want to hear from my star player. He wants more. He's hungry.
By the way, Lou, he also said last night he wants to get to 60 wins to make up for his bad rookie year. I mean, the guy's perfect.
Just resume padding.
I love it, man. I love the mentality. I love the mindset. Listen, we didn't come this far to just come this far. He wants it all. And sometimes in a business where it's always it's frowned upon to bet on yourself or say you want to win certain individual accolades, I like the fact that he put an address on it. Put it out there in the world. Put it in the universe. Yes, I want to be Defensive Player of the Year. Yes, I want to be MVP. Yes, I want 60. I want it all. And if you're his teammate, you're saying, well, let me scrap up my laces too. Let me get right and let me get on the same page with this guy because his success is going to be my success. If he gets paid and we're successful, I'm going to get paid and be successful. So if your main guy is going out and saying that, it's easy to rally around and it's easy to be motivated by that.
And watch this. There'll still be some losers that are like, oh, he's selfish, he's greedy. Like, there'll still be a negative from this.
I probably never won nothing, Chandler, so it's all right.
Those people are inaudible.
It's exactly what you want to hear.
We're going to take a quick break. Our first break?
That was a 35-minute first segment.
Did we win something?
History was made.
I thought we were just talking. I didn't even know we were on TV.
Cooking.
I know, Lou. Expansion talk next.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.
Lessons from Chandler in the break. NBA expansion news yesterday. Shams, shout out, reporting the NBA is moving forward with a vote to expand the NBA to 32 teams by adding teams to, Seattle and Las Vegas. But however, we've got tanking as it is, Lou. I love the idea of these two cities being added. Not sure about the expansion part. What do you think?
I love it. I don't know the ins and outs of the tanking part of this conversation, but I love the fact that it's Las Vegas and Seattle. I was a young rookie and a sophomore in the NBA going to Seattle and playing in games. Great atmosphere, great vibes. To be there to play early on in my career, I was anxious to get back in some capacity and experience Seattle some more. So for them to be able to have an opportunity to get a franchise back, that's good news for the Seattle area. Very, very good basketball town. And we know what Las Vegas brings to the table as well. I'm just curious about whether they're going to rely on tourism or the locals there, and if people are going to buy in. But I'm absolutely
the
down
hockey does well. It's like one of the more fun vibes.
Vegas will kill. And again, I like these two markets a lot. I do think Seattle was such a great sports town, and what they have.
Did you play in Seattle, Chandler? Did you get an opportunity to play in Seattle?
No, I didn't. I missed it by a couple of years. But to bring a sports team back to there and to have one in Vegas, I do love. Now, all the tanking and all the bad teams, like there is 7, 8 really bad teams in the NBA this year. So you want to add 2 more to that, and you can only protect your top 8 guys or whatever it is.
That.
So now they're going to basically or initially create 2 other bad teams in the league. When they could just, again, not to poo-poo on any cities or markets, but there's probably 2 to 5 teams that could just lose their team and put those 2 teams in Seattle and Vegas and keep it at 30. That way, at least you have the balance of the talent and you have less tanking.
You're diluting it more.
And you're not exactly. You're diluting with 17 more roster spots of guys on 2 new teams, where it doesn't really make sense. So
you're also going to steal some players from some great teams because, as you said, you can only protect your top 8 players. Don't love that.
Exactly. So think about like a team like Oklahoma City and San Antonio.
We're talking about educated. I was like, what's tanking got to do with it? But now, okay.
Yeah.
So the Spurs and Thunder, they can keep their top 8 guys. That means the Isaiah Joes, the Wiggins, they're gone.
Not touch them.
So it's like it's crazy. So
yeah, they're gone to like an. Although look, from a player's
perspective, some of these young guys
cool
an opportunity to be stars. Like if you're a Podziemski and you feel like you can be a headliner, you got an opportunity right here. You got an opportunity to go somewhere and be that guy.
And then things are picking, but also for free agency, I think is great because
I love it.
They're going to be looking at Seattle and Vegas like real markets and real destinations, and those are 2 cities that are awesome. So it's like
I guess I'm with you. I don't really understand the expanding versus moving teams that aren't performing.
It's going to make the product worse,
right? Because
the teams are going to be there's going to be more bad teams.
By the way, you're also going to have to geographically make some tweaks, which is always kind of fun. So like a Minnesota, for example, goes to the Eastern Conference.
Well, yes, and Memphis.
I think Memphis and Minnesota.
Think about Memphis. Tennessee is in the SEC.
Here we go.
But Memphis is in the Western Conference. Like, that never made sense to me.
Okay, but the SEC now is a hot.
Well, Memphis is considered the Midwest. It's technically considered the Midwest, but that's for sure the South.
Is it really?
Memphis and Minnesota would go
Mid-South.
east.
I'm sorry, I said the Midwest, the Mid-South. Yes.
Memphis and Minnesota obviously go east.
Well, one team would go east. So who would it be?
Memphis.
Okay, so Memphis goes east. See, but
No,
Memphis
it's two
could have
teams
also
going
just gone to
east.
Seattle, technically.
Yeah, many in Memphis would go east. It would be two
Just
teams.
one.
Yeah.
Why one?
Just one.
Because 16-16.
Good math.
Well, that's what I do here. Also,
Yeah,
Colorado.
listen, I think it's great for the game. Listen, we're expanding. It's more money. There's so many fans across the world that they are going to have another opportunity.
I don't love this.
It's just with the problems I think the most problems we have this season is tanking.
Can we get a vote just on our show and see if anybody listens? I vote against expanding. I vote for moving. So expanding or moving?
I've had to do the one of them.
Yeah.
Moving too.
Lou?
I vote expand.
Move.
Because I like these two markets.
Which two teams
I
would
like
you
the two
move?
markets.
I would move
Swedes?
Memphis and New Orleans. And that's not me trying to be mean, but that's what I
All
would
of the
do.
other stuff is going to be the other stuff. Just cities alone. I like these places having a franchise.
Yeah,
so I'm down for
You
for
take out
expanding
those
instead
two
of-
cities and you put those two cities in. Now,
Yeah, I'm not against Vegas and Seattle.
Now those
Yeah,
are the-
you want a fresh start. Like if you're Seattle and you already lost a franchise, you don't want somebody else's. You want a fresh start to have your own.
I don't know. I kind of want to steal somebody.
those are also two of the greatest cities in America. They deserve an NBA team.
The greatest cities in America.
Two
All
of
right,
them.
all right. Slow it down.
By the way, here's a fun fact.
Las
that
Vegas
Conrad-
isn't one of the best cities in the world.
The world?
Vegas? Oh
It's
yeah.
fun. Best city.
What? Vegas
Fun.
is
How
incredible.
about one of the most fun cities?
Have you ever spent more than 14 days in Vegas?
14 days straight. No, I'm
14
not nuts.
days? What are you?
Exactly.
No.
That's exactly.
Yeah, but you
Great
live in
cities,
Summerlin and Henderson. You live in the
Yeah,
birds.
Boogie lives in Vegas. What are we talking about? We should ask him. He's in Mongolia.
And he's always in LA.
And he is
He's in
LA.
Mongolia, for Christ's sake. He hates Vegas so much.
By the way, fun fact: if and when the Seattle they get a team back, all the records from OKC go back to Seattle.
I'll tell. Oh, that's interesting.
Fun fact.
I'll tell you this
all the
too.
old Seattle
The
records.
Las Vegas, whatever their team name is going to be, will have the best home court advantage in the NBA. I promise you that. I promise you that.
1,000%. I can't wait. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back. And we'll run it back.
Run it back, yeah. Run it up, then run it back, run it back, run it up, run it back.
The double Dutch bus.
I'm gonna give you guys a prompt, a little prompty prompt. You guys are gonna fill in the blank. We will do Warriors. Lou, you're up first. The Warriors will that doesn't make sense. There's no fill in the blank there, Conrad. The Warriors will not make the playoffs this season. True or false?
The Warriors will
Agree or
not make the
disagree?
playoffs this year.
Okay.
I don't think they get in. The Clippers are trending in the right direction. Phoenix has been pretty consistent. I don't think they beat one of these teams out in the play-in. So I'm gonna say they will not make the playoffs.
I agree. I agree with Lou. I think both teams are better, and I think the Blazers are also like younger, hungrier, and trying to win more right now. So I think 3 of those 4 teams will get in before the Warriors.
I stand corrected. I'm wrong. Or you give a definitive answer, which is now what I'm
There you
looking
go.
for right now.
So
You know
say
what?
sorry to Conrad.
Sorry, Conrad. You're the greatest that's ever lived. Chandler, Steve Kerr will not return as Warriors head coach next season.
I disagree with that. I think with moving off of Kuminga, getting over that whole dramatic situation, I think Steph Curry, the only jersey we ever see him in is the Warriors, and I think they ride it out together. So I think they have something. There's chemistry there. There's deep roots there with Draymond, Steph, and Steve Kerr. I think they have one
Will he
more.
do like a year to year?
Yeah, maybe like a 2-year deal or something.
Yeah.
Maybe whatever Steph's is, but I just can't see him and Steph not being together. So I disagree with this, or I agree with this. I don't. Whatever, Conrad. Whatever.
Steve Kerr will return
He
as the
will be
Warriors head
coach
coach.
next season.
There we
Thanks.
go. And that's the side I'm on. I think they get one more shot at it. I think they retooled this summer and they get one more shot at it.
So
with
a
those
year,
guys.
like, could you sign a year? Is that a thing? I don't know. It just seems so temporary and weird, but maybe. All right, I feel like I know the answer here. Steph Curry will finish his career with the Warriors, Lou.
I absolutely believe Steph Curry will finish his career with the Warriors. The only thing that makes me feel differently about it is him saying that he's comfortable with being a role player in years to come. If he's comfortable with that, that leaves the door open for it to be an opportunity for him to go somewhere else and get with one of these teams that got some young stars or some San Antonio or something. I'm just throwing that out there. No knowledge of that. But if he can go play with a bunch of young guys and turn himself into a Ray Allen, who Ray Allen was for Boston, who Ray Allen was for Miami, he can turn himself into a guy like that. I can see him somewhere else. But today, right now, he will finish his career as a Warrior.
It's hard to envision that.
I agree, he will finish, but also that could mean, Lou, maybe he just takes a huge pay cut to make the Warriors, to give them one huge last push to kind of build something there and get one more. But I can't picture him anywhere else.
It's really hard for me to picture that. Ooh, fill in the blank. Chandler.
Here we go.
Steph Curry will win blank more championships with the Warriors.
Steph Curry will win 0 more rings with the Warriors. There's two. Like, look at the Western Conference. Look at these teams that we already talked about for the last 50 minutes with the Thunder and the Spurs. Those teams aren't going anywhere. The Pistons are up and coming. The Cavs are super talented and loaded. Like, the Lakers are always going to get a fair look at the top free agents. Nuggets aren't going anywhere. So there's so much talent now in the league where, again, maybe he takes a super pay cut and they add 2 or 3 stars and Jimmy comes back with a vengeance, maybe, but I gotta go 0 here.
0's rough.
Yeah, I'm with Chandler. I think they've done their damage, which was a lot. They did a lot of damage and got a lot of hardware out of it, but I think that window is closed. I think the focus has shifted into other teams and other young superstars around the league.
All right.
So in a Warriors uniform, I think so.
God, I don't even really want him to go anywhere else, but it's his life.
Me neither.
It's gonna be weird. Now that Kuminga is gone, the Warriors have blank young foundation pieces. We need a number here. We need a number. Anyone? Bueller? Like.
I like Will.
Are we doing 0 here?
I like Will Richard from the Gators.
Oh dear Lord.
I think he's a good role player. Pods, listen, I'm not ready to say Pods is a franchise player. I like his game. I think he's a solid 6th, 7th man, and I think he can obviously get in some starting lineups and have career years. But
so 0.
Maybe 1.
Maybe 1.
Like Moody, I feel like had his time.
I got 0.
That's not it.
Chandler's dancing because he got a Gator over there.
Yeah,
I got
0. You got 0.
Well, foundational pieces, like, I would love Pods on my team coming off the bench.
Young pieces is just everyone. So
franchise
what's wrong with saying 0?
Franchise pieces, 0. Foundation pieces, I think they got 1 or 2 guys that they can find rotation.
What's the difference between a foundational piece and a franchise piece?
Like young youth all-stars, potential all-stars, that would be closer to 0.
No, there's no closer to 0. It's 0.
Well, again, these kids are young. I'm not just going to be like 0. What if they come out?
Oh, now you're worried about being nice to somebody?
Will Richard from Florida is a stud.
Please stop doing that. We're going to take a quick break. We're right back on the other side. Have you seen his shirt today, ladies and gentlemen?
Run it back, run it up, run it back.
Hey, y'all buying this? I got one for you. Lou? Lamar Odom says that Steph Curry's greatness has hurt the game because kids now just want to shoot the ball from the farthest part of the court. Are you buying that?
I would have bought this like 2 years ago when this argument was a thing, and I was like visually seeing it in youth sports. I think it's calmed down a little bit now since then. So I'm sample size. I'm buying a little bit of it because I think
You're leasing it, maybe?
Shifted, it's shifted back a little bit to some normalization, but there was an impact. There was an effect.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not buying it just because I think he put so many eyes in so many different kids, potential belief that they could someday do what he did because he's not just this anomaly freak athlete. So I'm not buying it. Again, I do think the whole game has changed now to shooting and shooting from deep. So if anything, it almost helped it because you have to be able to do that now to play in the NBA. So stop looking at my shirt, please.
Can we just, we have 15 seconds.
Warren Lotus, read a book.
Is this not the worst shirt you've ever seen, Lou? Like the worst shirt you've ever seen?
You guys were a #1 seed.
It's not the worst, but it's top 5.
Ugh, see you tomorrow.